Beginning, your hook attention grabber. Mike's, you're going to talk about your experience playing saxophone in high school. It was a lot like drumline, even though you knew how to play the saxophone, didn't know how to read music at all, and nobody ever knew. Okay, cool. That sounds like a good story. So make sure that you make that really specific, really vivid. Big idea. I expect this to be controversial, but these days everybody calls. Okay, so you're qualifying here. You expect it to be controversial. Just say it. It's going to come across a lot stronger and a lot more confident if you just say, these days, everybody calls themselves a producer, rather than qualifying it here. When you learn music theory, you can do more than just make beats, and you'll tap into what it really takes to be a producer. Okay, so this is a strong statement, and it's good. Can you make it a little bit more, this kind of sounds like you're thinking, make it more like a statement. Okay, so, or like a claim. So, the best producers know music theory, and also know how to make beats, or something like that. So please do not do what I just said, because it didn't make a lot of sense, but I think you know where I'm going, right? If you don't, give me a call and we can talk about it. Okay, so what's in it for your audience? Explain why your topic is important or worth discussing. So you're going to tell a funny story about how you got into band without learning how to read music, why it was hard, virtual instruments, playing instruments. The quality of music is better when the person knows the foundation. Okay, so can you add the word you in here? When we're talking about what's in it for our audience, now you really did address the question as it's phrased here, but what really works is you want to tell your audience why this applies to their life. Like, you get up, you brush your teeth, you eat your Cheerios, life. And why they need to listen. So either how is it going to hurt them personally if they don't listen to you? How is it going to help them personally if they do listen to you? Because maybe they don't care about making better music. I mean, maybe they do, and maybe that is the driver, and perhaps that is okay. But maybe they don't. And what happens if they don't? Maybe they're getting on okay. So try to appeal to that. Reconsider having a story here. I don't know how long your story is, but remember in this introduction, this beginning, we actually want it to be relatively concise. I mean, you want to get all of this out in like 30 seconds, right? So telling a lot of stories is going to delay the beginning of your speech. So can either of these stories serve you better down here? Think about that. And that's not a question that I can answer for you necessarily, but you can answer that question. But remember this, you're looking at 30 seconds, minute max, because we only have like about 5 minutes, right? Okay, so why should your audience listen to you? Explain your personal credibility. Okay, so your audience should listen to you. Since I learned music theory, I've been able to increase my creativity, composing orchestral music for games, movies that help me make more money with my skills. Okay, so you're making money. You're doing this professionally. That makes a huge difference. So did the amount of money you were making shift? Were you able to communicate with different types of people? Because reading music theory isn't just about understanding the concepts underneath, right? A lot of it has to do with communicating with people who speak music. So how did that diversify your level of communication? Just a thought. And call to adventure. So I suggest that up-and-coming hip-hop and pop producers at least learn how to read music and learn the circle of fifths and circle of fourths to understand harmony and chord progression. Okay, so call to adventure. That should be exciting, right? So you're saying here, you suggest that they at the very least do this. This feels more like a call to action. Let's look back at that example, call to adventure. So what it says right here, you can live a more fulfilling life starting today by deactivating. Okay, so we're not going to make this the minimum yet, right? This call to adventure is a call to wow. So how can you make this a call to wow? Yes, I know I have an excellent vocabulary. That was sarcastic. But really, I mean, a call to adventure is like something big, and then you just minimized it. So I don't want to listen to you for minimized things. I want to listen to you for exciting things. So how can you make this exciting? Okay, so we're going to go on to the middle. So you're previewing these 3 main points for that big idea. We're learning music theory, makes you more well-rounded. Okay, and so you're writing exactly what you have down here, and that's really functional. That's perfect. Okay, so learning music theory makes you a more well-rounded composer and producer with longevity in the industry. Okay, so these are a couple concepts. So let's look and make sure that you're covering these right. You use a personal story, how you learned music. It's why you believe it's made you a better composer. For every genre, you're still learning fun. Okay, so I want to look back at this outline here. So you see in this outline how what they do is they've got the way things could be, and then the way things are, and then it's a factual evidence, and then they say where you got it from, and then it's logos. And then we've got the way things could be, and this is the way things are, and you see how we're alternating fact, emotion, fact, emotion. And we're actually using numbers with our facts, like research that other people did. So we're starting out, and I see that you're doing that here, so please don't take this as a criticism. It's just thoughts. So I like that you're using this. Make sure you tell me whether it's fact or emotion. Just because when you label it like that, it's way easier to watch how you're alternating, right? Okay, so next, you're not supporting the longevity claim, right? This story talks about how you're well-rounded, but we're not supporting longevity. So make sure that you are either going to support everything in this claim, or you reduce the claim so that you can support it fully. Okay, moving on to the next one. When you know why music does what it does, your music makes more sense. You'll use definitions from music theory. Music theory is study of how. Okay, so I'm glad that you're using this research. Okay, but how does it make more sense? What does that mean? So can you give me an example? So for example, this piece of music was done before you knew music theory. This piece of music was done after music theory. Can you give me a little bit of an analysis? Maybe you can show us the sheet music in your pictures. Like, how can you show us that advanced? And there are other people who have done this too. So you are surely not the only music producer who started out without knowing music theory and then decided that it was important and then learned it and then found it helpful. So are there other people's testimonials? Are there big names who have testimonials like that? So these are the kind of questions that we want to answer here. Your story is excellent, but your story by itself is just you. We want to combine your story with other people's stories, and other people's stories need to be represented in both research and story testimonial type stuff. Okay, so we've got supporting point 3. Understanding music theory can help you tap into composing music in different genres. Okay, so that's cool, which opens up your ability to make more money as a producer. Cool. So, Pharrell Williams, score Despicable Me, classical music. Okay, see, this is excellent testimonial. Are there other people? So I mean, this is the regular question that I'm asking, right? Is there more? Are there others? Is there research? Are there numbers? Things like that. And it's all about building that argument by diversifying your support. So being a producer is more than just making beats and selling them. This is really... learn music theory so that you can take the quality of your music to the next level. This is the part where you might want to include this up here, the circle of fifths and the circle of fourths. Start out by learning the circle of fifths and the circle of fourths. That's the first part, because there's a lot more to music theory than just these guys, right? But this is the basic. So your call to action, the call to adventure needs to be this wow thing, and then the call to action is going to be a little bit more tangible. That's the difference. So work on what you really want to do this. I like this. I think this is a good preface for this. But this exactly is a little broad for me to actually take action on, right? Summarize. Make sure you summarize each individual point. You want to remind me of your favorite moment from each of those main points. We restate the big idea. I expect this to be okay. So really take that out. And restate your big idea in a paraphrased way. Don't say exactly what you said. Paraphrasing helps us understand it. So if I didn't quite get it the way you said it the first time, but if you say it again in a different way, I'm more likely to get it that time. So go ahead and give me that opportunity. And clincher, new bliss. I understand it's a competitive field. Okay, so you're understanding. Don't understand. Just music production, it's competitive. You need to go to the next level to be successful. And understanding the basics of music is going to take you up that notch. And I like this. You won't have to sell yourself cheap. That's good. Great. Okay, so make sure... Oh, you also have your source citations. This is great. Try to put these source citations at the end in a references section. So you see how they do this in the example, where they kind of talk about how they're going to cite it? Go ahead and do that. Like, go ahead and have the references later. But think about what you actually want to say when you're citing this thing, because that's going to help you out from like a thinking through your words perspective. All right, if you have any questions, Terrence, let me know, and I'm looking forward to this speech. I think it's cool. All right, bye.